There's a dance craze that's emerged in clubs across the UK in recent times, and it's one that has completely split opinion. It's called cutting shapes, or otherwise known as shuffling. For some, it's a way of life.
I've known about house because my mum used to rave to house in the 80s and 90s, so that's how I know. And my uncle, he showed me the shuffle and he's 60.
Yeah?
Yeah, he showed me how to do it.
So
what I can do, I've learned from my uncle.
You're never going to stop shuffling?
No, never.
I don't think so, not now.
I think I'm going to be doing it when I'm in my 30s.
But not everyone feels the same. Some have even gone as far as waging Facebook campaigns to get it banned from clubs completely. Either way, people are doing it everywhere.
So, for my generation who missed out on house music the first time around, they're making up for it. I mean, they're embracing the music, they're embracing the fashion, the terminology, the attitude towards it as well as, I suppose, the drug culture and everything that kind of comes with it. So I want to trace the roots. To really understand it, I've got to go back to the beginning. So I'm off to Manchester to see if I can find out a little bit more.
The house movement can be traced back to Manchester's legendary hacienda, where the music exploded onto the British club scene in the 1980s. But what is little known is that it was mainly black kids who first embraced the music.
Don't you think that might annoy, like the scratching thing, might annoy the people who've spent all the time making the records?
Greg Wilson was the first DJ to mix live on British TV, but made his name championing early house records in clubs around Manchester.
Well, I DJ'd in Manchester in the early 80s at a club called Legend, which was what was known then as Up Front, where the music that you played was all imported, mainly from New York, but predominantly there was a few British tracks that kind of came through. So it was like the latest music that was being played, and the kids that were coming to these nights, you know, the cutting edge of it was like from the black side. So it was the black crowd that literally brought house music into the hacienda. I mean, the story that's told is about a kid coming in with a copy of Adonis, No Way Back, and giving it to the DJ Mike Pickering. The other DJ, he remembers the actual occasion. He said he wasn't so much a kid, it was a bloke who came, black guy from Moss Side, and it was from there that house music really started to find its feet.
Greg played me one of the early raw house records, which brought in a new kind of music where the beat track is everything and a song can be composed of drums alone. It's this sound that's coming back in.
So this links very much to what you're hearing now?
Yeah, very much so. And it's like, there's a different sound in this one. My producer mate, he does a lot of house music, he said that's about to come in now for the next couple of years or so. It's more bass driven. It's not the thong, but it's the brum, 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 but it's the more rough one.
It's funny when people talk about music.
So while some believe raves started in a time of ecstasy-laden Ibiza super clubs, the first ever British acid house track was made by a black guy called Gerald with the era-defining Voodoo Ray. The track's producer and writer recalls the moment he realised he was onto something massive. We met up in the Moss Side studio where the track was originally recorded.
I shut out my house, got on my bike, got down to the radio station, banged on the door, Stu's that you just played, and he said, oh, it's some tape by a guy called Housemaster G. And I went, right, got the tape, it had a phone number on and such, and then I phoned up and then just met up with Gerald, and I ended up going to his loft, and we then got him in, you know, heard the track, and one of the tracks I heard just the bass line, a thing of Voodoo Rain. It was like, wow. And I came up with a vocal idea which was reminiscent of Boy George, because Boy George was big at the time, and you know, so it was like, ooh, ah, yeah, and that was it.
With the music inevitably came dancers, and leading the way were Foot Patrol, who adapted jazz fusion style of dancing to early house and could well be described as the first shufflers in the UK. And jam-packed into the Moss Side Community Centre in 1986 was a predominantly black crowd. In the now empty space that was once that Moss Side dance floor, I went to meet some original members of Foot Patrol.
We all knew one another, so it's like one big happy family. And where the music is, that's where your heart's at. And we got down and we got busy.
Strictly music. When you say, when a man drops music now on the house scene now, some people say cutting shapes right now for this day and age, but we're dropping foot. When you say you're dropping foot, you're moving with your foot's talking to your foot. And there's a move what we used to do, signature called a figure four, but you know what, the bones can't take it no more. But back in the day, would have been on that. Listen to the beat now. I'm trying to follow Mr. Z. One. The music was very important. It's the beat. Nothing to do with drugs or nothing like that. You're not popping no pills like some people. That's nothing to do with house. It was the beat, natural beat. Once the beat hits you, you're off. That's it. You're transfixed. It's like a flick.
As the scene grew and became more mainstream, it pushed out most of the black ravers who were just not into chemical drugs, and increasingly packed dance floors meant less space for cutting shapes. So new scenes were created. Jungle, drum and bass, UK garage, and then onto grime, which is the music I first started raving to. But I'm increasingly turning to house.
I want your body, everybody wants your body, so let's jack.
Because of the good vibes, good people, and good music. House music has come back to its roots, and people can't get enough of it.